Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep into IELTS speaking topics today.
Specifically, those tricky personal interview questions.
Exactly. You guys sent us some awesome practice scenarios.
And we're going to tackle them head-on, role-play style.
Yeah, so you can hear how it all comes together in a real conversation.
We'll be uncovering some vocabulary gems along the way, too.
Gems that will help you sparkle on exam day. Maybe just a little, but you've got this. So, first question. Do you have a pet?
Yes, I have a cat named Luna.
Luna. Okay, tell me more.
Well, she's a beautiful, fluffy cat with bright green eyes.
I can already picture her.
I've had her since she was a kitten. She's been a wonderful companion.
That's so sweet. Now, what about the responsibilities of being a pet owner? What does that involve for you?
Well, of course, I have to make sure Luna is fed and watered every day.
Right.
And that her litter box is clean.
Of course, the not-so-glamorous part.
But I also take her to the vet for regular checkups and vaccinations.
Important to keep her healthy.
Yeah, but it's not all work and no play.
I was just going to say, it can't be all chores.
I get to spend time with her, play with her.
I bet she loves that.
And give her lots of love and attention.
That bond with a pet is truly special. Speaking of warmth and connection, can you describe a moment when you were warmly welcomed or embraced by someone?
One moment that comes to mind is when I visited my grandparents' house after a long time away.
Oh, I love those reunions.
They were so happy to see me.
I bet.
They gave me a big hug and a warm welcome. We spent the rest of the day catching up.
Sounds lovely.
And reminiscing about old times.
Those memories are precious.
It was a really special moment.
I can feel the warmth from here.
I felt so loved and appreciated.
What made this moment so special for you, would you say?
I think it was the genuine warmth and affection that my grandparents showed me.
That's beautiful.
They were so happy to see me.
I bet you could really feel that.
They made me feel like I was the most important person in the world.
Grandparents have a way of doing that, don't they?
It was also a special moment because it was a chance for us to reconnect and strengthen our bond.
It sounds like that hug really cemented the feeling of love and connection.
Definitely.
Now, thinking more broadly, do you think physical touch, like hugs and kisses, is an important way to show affection?
Yes, I think physical touch is a powerful way to show affection and love.
Absolutely.
It can be a way to comfort and reassure someone, and it can also be a way to celebrate and show appreciation.
That's a good point.
In many cultures, physical touch is an important part of social interaction and communication.
It's fascinating how much meaning can be conveyed through a simple hug.
Absolutely.
That's a really insightful point. Now let's step back from the role play for a moment.
Okay.
Did you notice how certain words and phrases were used to create a more vivid and engaging response?
Absolutely.
Like using reminiscing instead of just talking about old time.
Right. It adds a touch of elegance and shows a wider range of vocabulary.
Exactly. And using the phrase genuine warmth and affection paints a much clearer picture for the listener than just saying, they were nice to me.
It's all about showcasing your ability to use descriptive and nuanced language.
Precisely. And remember when you talked about the hug strengthening the bond with your grandparents?
Yeah.
That demonstrates a deeper understanding of the emotional significance of physical touch.
Absolutely. It's these subtle choices that can really elevate your answers and impress the examiners.
It's all about the details. Now, before we move on to the next part of our deep dive, let's take a moment to appreciate the power of those well-chosen words.
They can make all the difference.
Absolutely. Think about how you can apply these strategies to other IELTS speaking topics.
And practice using this kind of language in your everyday conversations.
It's all about building confidence and expanding your communication skills.
Exactly. So building on that idea of physical touch.
Okay.
Do you think it can actually have a positive impact on our mental and emotional well-being?
That's a fascinating question. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Well, I definitely think so.
Okay.
Physical touch can release oxytocin,
Oh, interesting.
which is often called the love hormone.
Right.
It can help reduce stress and anxiety, and it can also promote feelings of relaxation and calmness.
That makes sense.
In addition, physical touch can be a way to show affection and love,
Yeah.
which is essential for our emotional well-being.
That's a compelling point.
Yeah.
You've even brought in some scientific knowledge to support your answer.
Well, It's important to demonstrate a well-rounded understanding of the topic, right?
Absolutely.
Now, broadening our perspective a bit,
Okay.
do you think that some cultures place more emphasis on physical touch than others?
I'm really glad you brought that up.
Yeah?
Cultural differences can play a significant role in how we express ourselves.
Yes, I think that's true.
Uh-huh.
In some cultures, physical touch is a common way to greet or show affection,
Right.
while in other cultures, it's less common or even taboo.
That's an interesting point.
For example,
In some Mediterranean cultures, it's common to kiss or hug as a greeting,
oh, right.
while in some Asian cultures, it's more common to bow or use a formal greeting.
Those are excellent examples.
Yeah.
It shows that you're aware of the nuances of intercultural communication.
Thanks.
Now, for our final question in this segment,
Okay.
let's consider the role of technology.
Right.
Do you think technology has changed the way we show affection and love to each other?
Yes, I think technology has definitely changed the way we show affection and love.
How so?
Well, with social media and messaging apps,
Right.
it's easier than ever to send a quick message or emoji to show someone you care.
So true.
However,
Yeah.
I think it's also important to remember the value of physical touch and face-to-face interaction,
Mm-hmm.
which can be more meaningful and intimate than digital communication.
That's such a thoughtful response.
Thanks.
You've acknowledged both the positive and potential downsides of technology's impact on how we express affection.
Yeah, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Exactly. You've also woven in some sophisticated vocabulary,
Oh, like what?
like intimate and meaningful,
Mm-hmm.
which adds depth to your answer.
It's about striking a balance, right?
Exactly.
Between demonstrating a wide vocabulary and keeping your language natural and flowing.
Now let's zoom in on some of the key phrases that made those answers shine.
Okay, sounds good.
That phrase, release oxytocin, is brilliant.
Thanks.
Not only does it demonstrate scientific knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
but it also adds a touch of sophistication to your response.
I try to spice things up a bit.
And when you mention cultural differences,
Yeah.
providing specific examples like Mediterranean versus Asian cultures really brought your point to life.
It's all about painting a vivid picture for the listener
Absolutely.
and showing that you can apply your knowledge to real-world situations.
And that final point about technology,
Uh-huh.
contrasting the ease of sending a quick message with the value of face-to-face interaction,
Yeah.
was a powerful way to wrap up your response.
It highlights the complexities of modern communication
Exactly.
and leaves the listener with something to ponder.
You've showcased a range of vocabulary
Thanks.
and presented your ideas in a clear and engaging way.
That's what we're aiming for.
Absolutely. The IELTS speaking test is not just about grammar and fluency.
It's about so much more.
It's about showcasing your ability to communicate effectively.
Exactly. Now, before we move on to our final thought-provoking question,
Okay.
let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned from this simulated IELTS speaking test.
Sounds good.
You've heard firsthand how powerful word choices and a well-structured response can make all the difference.
It's all in the details. Think about how you can apply these strategies to other IELTS speaking topics and practice using this kind of language in your everyday conversations.
It's all about building confidence and expanding your communication skills.
And remember, the more you practice,
The better you'll become.
the more natural and effortless these techniques will become.
Practice makes perfect.
We've talked about pets and warm welcomes.
And the role of physical touch in expressing affection.
Right, but in a world that's like increasingly dominated by technology, how do you think this is all evolving?
It's a good question.
Yeah,
Something to really think about.
for sure.
Well, technology has definitely made it easier to connect with people far away.
Right, like across distances.
Yeah.
It also presents a unique challenge
Mm-hmm.
to the way we express affection.
I see what you mean.
It's so easy to send a quick text.
Or a virtual hug emoji.
Exactly. But are we like losing the art of expressing affection?
In the physical world.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder.
It really does.
Think about it.
Okay.
How often do you send a heart emoji
Mm.
instead of giving a real hug?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Or type, I love you,
Yeah.
instead of saying it face to face?
I have to admit,
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that myself.
I think we all are to some extent.
It's convenient,
Yeah.
but I wonder if something gets lost in translation.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
While digital communication has its place,
Mm-hmm.
it's important to remember that physical touch
Right.
and face-to-face interaction
Yeah.
offer a depth of connection.
For sure.
So that's hard to replicate online.
There's a certain warmth.
An intimacy
Yeah.
that comes from a genuine hug or
Yeah.
a heartfelt handshake
Exactly.
that a virtual gesture just can't quite capture.
It's just not the same.
So as you navigate this digital age, think about how you're expressing affection.
Okay.
Is it through a screen?
Uh-huh.
Or through genuine human connection?
That's deep.
And more importantly, how does that make you feel?
That's a powerful thought to leave our listeners with.
I hope so.
It's all about finding that balance
Right?
between the convenience of digital communication and the irreplaceable value of human touch.
Couldn't have said better myself.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into IELTS speaking topics.
It's been a journey.
We've role-played, analyzed vocabulary,
And explored the nuances of expressing affection in a technologically driven world.
Remember, practice makes perfect.
Keep those language skills sharp.
And don't be afraid to experiment with new words and expressions.
And most importantly, never underestimate the power of genuine human connection.
Well said. Until next time, happy learning, everyone.